They said she was just a pretty face, a blonde bombshell, a fantasy on film. But behind the lights, behind the name, was a woman the world never truly knew. She wanted to be someone special, someone important. She looked at the world with wide eyes. Her heart held a secret wish, a wish to shine brightly like the stars in the sky. But a deep fear lived inside her. It was a cold shadow. It followed her everywhere, the fear of being nobody, the fear of being forgotten. She worried no one would truly see her or remember her name. This anxiety was a constant whisper. It told her she was not enough. It threatened to swallow her dreams whole. Norma Jeane yearned to escape the shadows. Norma Jeane's childhood was a fragile thing. It was not filled with sunshine or steady, loving arms. It was a patchwork of different places, different faces, a constant state of upheaval. She learned early that nothing lasted. That stability was a dream for other children. Not for her. This understanding settled deep within her. It colored her view of the world. It made her forever search for a safe harbor. Foster homes became her temporary shelters, so many of them, each one a new beginning and often a new disappointment. She tried to fit in, to be good, to be wanted, but she always felt like an outsider, a guest who might be asked to leave at any moment. The world was at war. World War II raged across continents. It brought change and upheaval to everyone. Norma Jeane was a young woman then, married for the first time, very young. Her husband was away with the military. She needed to find work, to find her own way. The war, in its vast destructiveness, unknowingly set the stage for a new beginning for her, a path she never anticipated. She found a job in a factory, the radioplane company in Van Nuys. She inspected parachutes and sprayed airplane fuselages. She was doing her part. Contributing to the war effort, she was one of many women stepping into new roles. Her life was ordinary then, predictable. Yet, even in the drone of the factory, a certain light was waiting to be discovered, a potential unseen by those around her and perhaps even by herself. Then one day, a photographer arrived. His name was David Conover. He was from the Army's photographic unit. Hollywood, the land of dreams, the place where stars were made, Norma Jeane felt its powerful pull. She signed her first studio contract with 20th Century Fox. It was a moment of triumph, a dream starting to come true. But Hollywood had its own ideas, its own demands. The journey was not simply about talent, it was about transformation, often radical and unforgiving, dictated by the men in power. The studio executives looked at her. They saw potential, but they also saw changes to be made. Norma Jeane Mortensen, or Doherty, as she was then known. The name was not glamorous enough. Her brown hair was not striking enough. They wanted to create an image, something unforgettable, something that would sell tickets. She was clay in their hands, ready to be molded, whether she fully understood the implications or not. And so Marilyn Monroe was born. The studio chose the name, Marilyn after the Broadway star Marilyn Miller. Monroe, her mother's maiden name. Marilyn Monroe was a sensation. Her name was on everyone's lips. Her image was everywhere, on movie screens, in magazines. She was adored by millions, worshipped from afar. But beneath the glittering surface, a silent battle raged. The world saw Marilyn, the confident, sexy star, but Norma Jeane felt lost inside. She felt like an imposter in her own life. The applause was deafening, yet it never quite reached the lonely girl within. The image of Marilyn was a mask, a beautiful, captivating mask, but it was still a mask. Norma Jeane was the real person, the sensitive, insecure girl, the woman who craved genuine connection. She longed to be seen, to be understood for who she truly was, not just for the dazzling facade that Hollywood had built. This internal schism was a source of constant turmoil, a hidden wound that never truly healed. She yearned for love, real love, unconditional love. She wanted someone to love Norma Jeane. With all her flaws, all her fears, the adoration of fans was immense, but it felt distant, impersonal. It did not fill the emptiness inside her. It could not soothe the ache of her fractured childhood. Fame arrived like a blinding light. It was exciting, everything she had dreamed of, or so it seemed, but the light also cast long, dark shadows. Fame became a cage, a beautiful, gilded cage, but a cage nonetheless. She was trapped by her own image, by the expectations of the world. There was no escape from being Marilyn Monroe. Every move scrutinized, every word analyzed. The world saw Marilyn, the ultimate sex symbol, the ditzy blonde. This was the role she played so well on screen, but it was not who she was, not entirely. She had a quick mind, a curious spirit, a deep sensitivity, but people rarely looked beyond the surface. They saw what they wanted to see. The stereotype was powerful, limiting, and deeply frustrating for her. Norma Jeane yearned for something more, something deeper than the fleeting adoration of fame. She was not content to be just a beautiful face, a sex symbol. Her mind was hungry. She wanted to learn, to grow, to understand the world and to understand herself. This intellectual curiosity was a vital part of her, but it was rarely acknowledged by those around her or by the public that consumed her image so voraciously. She pursued knowledge earnestly. She enrolled in acting classes at the prestigious Actors Studio in New York. She studied with Lee Strasberg. He became a mentor, a father figure. She read widely, poetry, literature, psychology. She even tried her hand at writing poetry herself. These pursuits were her attempt to nurture her intellect, to find meaning beyond the superficiality of Hollywood. She sought to cultivate an inner world rich with thought and feeling. As the years passed, the relentless demands of stardom increased. The pressure to be Marilyn Monroe never eased. It was a constant performance, on screen and off. The spotlight was harsh, unforgiving. It exposed every flaw, every vulnerability. The machinery of fame ground on, indifferent to the human cost. She felt its weight crushing her spirit day by day. Marilyn's iconic smile, once so radiant, began to appear more fragile, more strained. Her luminous eyes, which had captivated millions, often held a profound sadness, a weariness that makeup could not conceal. The effort of maintaining the facade of the joyful, carefree sex symbol was immense. It was draining her, chipping away at her inner strength. The joy she projected was increasingly a performance, not a reflection of her inner state. Norma Jeane's voice, the voice of the authentic self, grew fainter. It was increasingly difficult for her to hear it amidst the clamor of Marilyn's fame. The legend of Marilyn Monroe had become so overwhelming, so powerful, it threatened to extinguish the quiet, sensitive woman within. She was lost in the echo chamber of her own celebrity, struggling to find her way back to the core of her being. She found herself increasingly isolated, surrounded by handlers, by fans, by an entourage, yet deeply alone. The world adored Marilyn Monroe, the image, the fantasy. Marilyn Monroe. Her name echoes through time, an enduring icon of beauty, glamour, and tragedy. She remains a legend, forever youthful in photographs, forever captivating on screen. Her image is instantly recognizable, globally understood, or so it seems. Her face adorns countless products, her films are still watched, her life still dissected. She achieved the immortality she perhaps craved as a young girl. But the world often saw only the surface, the dazzling blonde hair, the seductive smile, the breathy voice. The public consumed the image, the myth. They were fascinated by the scandals, the romances, the tragic end. But in focusing on the sensational, they missed the complexity, the depth of the woman behind the facade. Her story became a cautionary tale, a symbol of Hollywood excess rather than a human drama. The true story of Marilyn Monroe is the story of Norma Jeane. Her relentless search for identity, her desperate quest for genuine love, her profound need for acceptance, not as a goddess, but as a human being, flawed, vulnerable, real. This was the struggle that defined her life, the internal conflict that shaped her triumphs and her sorrows. This was the narrative often overlooked in the glare of her stardom. Perhaps now, decades after her light was extinguished too soon, we can begin to look beyond the legend, beyond the myth of Marilyn, and try to understand the woman. Some stories end, but their echoes live forever. The girl named Norma Jeane Mortensen.